For burglars, the entire room's contents seem desirable, but even inferior burglars would recognize that the room's most desirous articles are clearly booby-trapped.
That doesn't work. That doesn't...
The crackling old parchment of this ancient text is rolled around a metallic spool. The crackling old parchment of this ancient text is rolled around a metallic spool.
Ah, the blaze parchment. Well done, well done. I assure you that when we have finished with it, we will see it placed somewhere where it will be appreciated.
Hey, live it up, Prof. And don't forget your side of the bargain.
I stand by my word. You see before you a translator.
We're hoping you can translate this Latin phrase for us. We've written it down for you.
Of course. Let me see. Vocabulum est acquire, ominus venire abgenitor. Well, the Latin is poor, but it roughly translates to something like, the word is get, and all comes from the Father. Acquire means to get, you know, a verb meaning to acquire.
The word get. Not much of a clue. You're the brainy puzzle solver in this relationship. Getting any ideas?
Not yet, but I will.
We're hoping you can translate this Latin phrase for us. We've written it down for you.
Of course. Let me see it. Vocabulum est tabula, ominus venire abgenitor. The Latin is poor, but it reads, the word is slate, and all comes from the Father. The key word here seems to be tabula, which translates to slate.
The word slate. Not much of a clue.
Still, it's a clue, my brainy beau. It's something to go on.
I didn't say it was nothing, just that it wasn't much.
We're hoping you can translate this Latin phrase for us. We've written it down for you.
Of course. Let me see it. Vocabulum est grale, ominus venire abgenitor. The Latin is poor, but it reads, the word is grale, and all comes from the Father. The key word here seems to be grale, which translates to stilts. A rather unlikely message.
The word stilts. Not much of a clue.
Really? Gee, it seems obvious to me.
The answer will be obvious when we're done with it.
The two of us have been repeatedly sharing the same nightmares, and after every one of them, we wake up screaming and with the same Latin sentence on our lips. Vocabulum est cirrus. Ominous venire obgenitor. Can you translate that for us?
Of course. Quite easy. The Latin is poor, but it translates to the word is late, and all comes from the Father. The key word here seems to be late. Does this mean anything to you?
No, it doesn't. Not yet, at least. But it could be the start of something.
You can't search her desk until Professor Coronary tells me I have to let you.
That punk Daniel won't let us look at this list.
The only reason I'm letting you search this desk is because Professor Coronary allows it. Don't think I'm forgiving you for what happened to Dee. Someday your kind will pay for what they did.
If you're with transgressions or ARC, you've come to the wrong place. I won't sing to the people who killed my friend. You can kill me before I do that.
Strong claim to be making to strangers, pal. If we were from transgressions, we'd take you up on that. But we're not the Heat.
Right now, I'm not doing a whole hell of a lot because my partner was killed. I'm just going through some of the data she was working with. Dee and I maintained and monitored covert hookups with international networks and bulletin boards. Not an easy job with ARC programmers raiding the boards looking for unauthorized hooks they can trace to their source.
Yeah, we're familiar with their ops. They trace the origin of the link and then they send the stormtroopers in. What were you searching for?
We were pushing the edge. Dee insisted we not play it safe. We were trying to score cyberspace decks from the European black market. Not easy since Europe's well within the hand's grasp.
No wonder O'Connor got whacked. ARC's got knuckles all over the continent. Only hope of scoring a deck is to launder it through a third party in the Mideast or Russia.
Why not ask her for that information?
What are you talking about? She's dead.
Yes, but she lives on, courtesy of her own handiwork. She spent months on this. Wouldn't tell me how she did it. And I haven't been able to crack the source code yet. How she did this with current technology is a mystery to me.
So what is it?
She programmed a source code that simulates her own personality, which is impressive enough. But then she also digitized her own voice, enunciating English language phonemes, and wrote programming routines that compose the phonemes into words on the fly. Amazing stuff. I don't know where she learned how to do this.
You're saying we can talk to her?
There's no visual output yet, but listen here.
Hey, Wick, what's booting your system?
There's some people here asking about you and about our work.
I assume they're legit. You gotta watch who you face with, Wicks. You're too trusting.
This is strange. We're talking to a dead person.
Yeah, freaking scrub teams wasted my proto. But the essential Deidre is powered up and online. This has the potential to blow away an anti-deck interface.
Stick around. You're gonna find out.
I don't think she got this from the hand.
Things aren't as they seem, Wickersham.
So now what? We just asked this computer why O'Connor was killed?
Why not? Deirdre, can you shed any light on why the hand chose now to kill you?
Hands need a reason to whack a techno-anarchist, post-humanist, entrepreneurial, free spirit obsessed with actuating the transhuman.
A square jaw. It seems
Yes, I speak Latin and several other languages fluently.
We're hoping you can translate this Latin phrase for us. We've written it down for you.
Of course. Let me see it. The Latin is poor, but it reads vocabulum est janua, omnibus venere ab genitor. The word is gate, and all comes from the Father. The key word here is janua, which is Latin for gate.
The word gate. Not much of a clue.
But enough? You've done more with less.
Oh, I'll figure it out. Give me time, and I'll figure it out. So, after all of this, we're left with a big goose egg. Each of the murder victims, and Rach and I, had a preoccupation with basically the same Latin sentence, the only differences being individual words that are next to meaningless and don't seem to fit together.
You're saying we've flatlined, run a dead end?
Hope is not lost. I've been giving this matter with a Latin word some thought, and I may have the answer.
These words mean something to you, Coronary?
Something about the presentation suggests a code I'm familiar with. Keep in mind, a large part of a Gnostic's work is deciphering obscure texts and breaking ice systems. Now follow me on this. The first part of the statement introduces a word. That's plain enough. But what about the second? Why the mention of all things coming from the Father? What things? Whose Father?
Who cares? Words don't have fathers.
But sometimes they just might. They just might. As I said, I'm familiar with this manner of encryption. Each of the words I translated for you can all be made from a single seminal word, with the letters from the derivative words occurring in the same order as they appeared in the seminal word. For example, the words fort, mist, ruin, sore, and stun can all be found moving from left to right in the word misfortune. In our case, the words get, gate, slate, stilts, and late can all be found only in one word, and that unlikely word is gesticulate.
Gesticulate? What are we supposed to do with that?
You can be certain that if the hand bothered to devise the encryption, it has some great use. What that might be is for you to discover. I believe I've upheld my part of our bargain.
What's wrong? Something bad's happened, hasn't it? The assassination attempt on Solux?
The attempt on Solux has failed. The homing device apparently was discovered and reprogrammed. The missile meant for Solux struck a tenement building. Fortunately, most of the residents were on the street watching Solux pass by, so no one was killed. Thank God. I knew it was a mistake to attempt such extreme measures.
Question is how they found the homing transmitter. We spent over a year devising ways to cloak its signal, spent a small fortune on stealth materials for the casing, People risked their lives to obtain paint samples from Solix's car. Xenon was a fool to use these two to do his dirty work.
Watch who you're accusing, Katerina. Your plan was dicey from the start. I don't care how mondo your homing device was. You think the hand techs aren't 3 steps ahead of you? Judas Priest, it's the Imperator's parade car. You think they don't scan almost every molecule of that thing?
There is no time for this. There is no time for recriminations. As you see, Gideon and Rachel, some of my staff do not trust you.
Yeah, we noticed that with Literati. He's got a big problem with us.
Marcus Vanders and Claudette Simeone of the attack squad were his closest friends. He hasn't been the same since their death. When they disappeared, something inside him disappeared as well.
We've discovered Solix's secret. We've discovered the secrets of hell.
Hell's secrets. I've no time for idle boasts. Tell me what you know.
The Imperator doesn't have the keys to hell, but Solix does have a team of ace hackers and hardware at least 3 generations ahead of anything you've ever seen. Hell isn't real. They're computer generating the whole thing.
Computer generating? But how?
The Hand is ruled like Luddites, outlawing most cutting-edge tech, but that hasn't stopped the government itself from moving ahead full bore. They've been developing cyberspace and decking technologies to a sophisticated degree. When they damn people, they don't physically send them anywhere. The victim's nervous system is linked to a computer network that's generating an enormously complex virtual environment. And that's hell.
My God! You're certain of this?
We've got a deep throat inside the Pentagon. He's a programmer who spends his days backing up data generated by the Hell program. They've got everyone's nightmares on tape. And he's spilling everything he knows. Everything he's said so far is consistent with our experiences in the underworld.
All right. All right. This changes everything. Can you get to this person, this deep throat? We must speak with him. We must have him here with Katerina working on some way to destroy hell. If it's a computer program we can crash, we can devise a bug or virus and reduce the gates of hell to virtual ruins. Correct, Katerina?
Maybe. I mean, in theory, any program, any data can be corrupted. It's a matter of understanding their code, and it'll depend on hardware. I'll need information, lots of it.
You heard her, Gideon, Rachel. Bring me this deep throat. We must have him on our team. The front has a number of important allies. Former government officials who have resigned their posts rather than serve under the Hand. And activists who the Hand deemed too subversive to remain free. All of them will be crucial to forming a government that can take charge when Solix is defeated. The Imperator, of course, knows this, and has apprehended them, consigning all of them to hell. We had never seen a way to rescue them until now. Can you access hell at will?
We think so. We have access to a psychopomp, which, as it turns out, is a disguised decking unit.
Good. You two must undertake to rescue our people being tortured in hell. If I understand this correctly, they are most likely linked to a computer somewhere in the Pentagon. We have spies inside. Hopefully, one of them will be able to free their bodies while you free their minds. Katerina will brief you on the identities of the prisoners. While you work to free them, we will devise a means of destroying hell.